Hey everyone, and welcome. So, have you ever written a piece of code that just felt fragile? You know, the kind where one small change request makes you feel like the whole thing could just fall apart. If that sounds familiar, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to crack the code on design patterns. These are basically the proven blueprints that help us turn that brittle code into something flexible and, honestly, a joy to work on. And we're going to focus on one of the most powerful ones to get started with, the factory method.
So here's the game plan. We're going to start with a coding problem I know you've run into. Then, we'll introduce design patterns as the hero of our story. After that, we'll do a deep dive into the factory method itself, see where it's being used out in the real world, figure out why it's so awesome, and then wrap it all up with a handy toolkit summary. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's set the scene. I think every single developer has fallen into this trap. You build something, it works great, everyone's happy, and then a new feature request lands on your desk, and suddenly your elegant code starts to look, well, not so elegant anymore. We call this the rigidity trap.
Just imagine you've built this awesome logistics app. For version 1, all it needs to do is handle deliveries by truck. Your code is focused, it's clean, you have a truck class, everything is humming along perfectly. Life is good.
But your app is a hit. And now, the business wants to expand. They want to start handling sea transport. So you need to add ships. The big question is, what happens to your beautiful, simple code base when you try to cram a ship class in there?
Yeah, it gets messy, and it gets messy fast. All of a sudden, you've got these big, ugly if-else blocks or a giant switch statement that says, if the type is truck, do truck things. But if the type is ship, do ship things. And every single time you want to add a new transport type, like trains or planes, you have to go back and change that core piece of logic. Your code is now super fragile. This is called tight coupling, and it's a developer's nightmare.
But here's the good news. We are not the first people to ever face this problem. Not by a long shot. The solution comes from a set of well-established, proven blueprints designed to solve these exact kinds of problems. Let's talk about design patterns.
Now, these aren't just some random good ideas someone had. They were all written down and cataloged way back in 1994 in this hugely influential book by 4 authors who became known as the Gang of 4. In this book, it really changed the game. It gave developers a shared language and a set of tested solutions for problems that pop up over and over again.
So the Gang of 4 grouped these 23 patterns into 3 main buckets. You've got creational patterns, which are all about, you guessed it, creating objects. This is where our focus is today. Then you have structural patterns, which deal with how you compose classes and objects together. And finally, behavioral patterns, which are all about how different objects talk to each other.
Okay, so let's zoom right into our creational pattern for today, the factory method. The whole point of this pattern is to solve that messy object creation problem we just saw by smartly delegating the work.
Now, the official definition can sound a little dense, I know, but the idea is actually really simple. Instead of your main code creating a truck or a ship directly, you just call a method, let's call it a factory method. This method is defined in a parent class, but it's the child classes that actually do the work of deciding which specific object to create. It basically says, I know we need to create something, but I'm going to let my subclasses handle the details.
And this table really shows the elegance of it. Notice how there are 2 parallel hierarchies, like 2 family trees that mirror each other. On one side, you have your products, the general idea of transport, and the specific concrete things like a truck and a ship. On the other side, you have your creators, the general logistics company, and the specialized branches like road logistics and sea logistics. And here's the key. Road logistics knows how to make a truck, and sea logistics knows how to make a ship. This completely decouples the client from the specific things being created. It's beautiful. Okay, I know this can still feel a little abstract, but I promise you, you have used systems built on this exact pattern, probably even today. Let's look at a couple of real-world examples that will make this click. First up, payment gateways. Just think about any e-commerce site. When you go to checkout, it might give you the option to pay with Stripe or PayPal or Apple Pay. The website needs a way to create the correct payment processor object depending on what you choose. And boom, here's the pattern in action. There's a generic payment processor interface, then you have concrete classes like credit card processor and PayPal processor. A payment factory simply takes your choice and spits out the right object. The beauty here is that the main shopping cart code doesn't need to know anything about the messy details of how PayPal works. It just knows it has a processor that can handle the payment. And adding a new payment method, it's a piece of cake. All right, for all you cloud developers out there, here's another huge one. Imagine you're building an application that needs to work across different cloud providers, like AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud.
The factory method is an absolute lifesaver here. You'd create a generic compute resource interface. Then, you'd have your concrete classes like AWS VM and Azure VM. A cloud provider factory would just look at a config file and instantiate the correct virtual machine for the job. This makes your main application cloud agnostic. It doesn't care if it's running on AWS or Azure, it just works. And that is incredibly powerful.
So we've seen what it is and how it works, but why is this pattern so respected? Why is it a winner? Well, it all comes down to how it helps us follow some of the most fundamental principles of good software design, specifically the solid principles.
Let's look at this side by side. On the left, you have that brittle approach, that big, ugly switch statement we hate. To add a new kind of transport, you have to go in and modify this existing class, which is risky. But on the right, you have the true factory method. Here, to add a new product, what do? You just extend the system, you add a new subclass. You don't have to touch a single line of existing working code.
And this right here, this is the magic. The factory method is a perfect textbook example of the open/closed principle, that's the O in solid. It means our code should be open for extension. We can easily add new functionality, but closed for modification, meaning we don't have to change existing code and risk breaking things. This is absolutely key to building software that lasts.
Okay, that was a lot, so let's boil it all down into a quick reference mind map. Think of this as the cheat sheet you can add to your personal developer toolkit.
So let's just run through it one last time. What was the problem? Tight coupling, code that's a pain to change, and breaking that open/closed principle. What's the solution? We delegate creating objects down to the subclasses. The key structure to remember is those two parallel family trees, the products and the creators. And the core benefit, the reason we do all this, we get loosely coupled, super extensible code. We can add new features without the fear of breaking everything that already works.
And I'll leave you with one final question to chew on. The factory method is amazing for creating one type of object at a time. But what if you need something more complex? What if you need to create a whole family of related objects that all need to work together? Like, say, a button, a text box, and a scroll bar that all share a consistent dark mode theme. Well, that is a fantastic question, and it leads us directly into another, even more powerful design pattern. But we'll have to save that one for next time. Thanks for watching.